Hi, I'm Christina from Sweet Sapling, and I have some beautiful Valentine's themed fabric from Clothworks called Hug Me. And I'm here to show you today how to make a cute, easy Valentine's themed crown for your little girl. What you need are 2 fat quarters of fabric. You'll pick one for your main fabric, which is for the crown, and then your accent piece, which you'd use for your straps. Fusible fleece, it gives it a little extra body so the crown stands straight. And Velcro, I use the Heat and Bond Velcro. It's easy, you use the iron, get it on there real good, and then your accent pieces to decorate it and make it just fun and cute. Okay, first step, super quick, easy. Cut out your pattern. Then you're gonna make 2 cuts in your main fabric, so you'll have 2 pieces of your crown. And then 1 cut in your fusible fleece, which will give it that nice body as I mentioned before. Next step, you're gonna take your fusible wool with the textured side facing up because that's where your adhesive is, and then take your first piece of main fabric and you're gonna wanna line it up real nicely. Then you're gonna take your iron, get it really nice and hot, and press firmly for like 10 to 15 seconds in each area. Then you'll know you've got it nice and secured your fabric to your wool. Next is the fun part, embellishing the front of your crown. I chose to use some ribbon and lace, as well as a felt heart that I cut out, and I'm going to top it off with a pink heart button to give it that cute Valentine's flair. But you can use anything you have lying around, whether you choose to just use a ribbon or just lace. You can use rickrack, just any fun craft stuff that you have lying around. It's just fun where you can make it your own. Now that you have your crown layout exactly the way you like it, we're gonna start stitching things down. I just leave my lace on top of the ribbon and stitch that together. And I take one more pass, more towards the top to secure it. Next, I'm gonna put the heart exactly where I'd like it, and my button, and then I just stitch the button down, and that will secure the heart in place. Be sure to lower your feed dogs when you're stitching your button on so it's not moving your fabric along. You're gonna wanna do a zigzag stitch between both of the buttonholes. I go back and forth like 10 times. And then have it. Next step for your straps, cut 2 pieces out of your accent fabric. It's gonna be 9.5 by 3-inch strips. And with it right side facing you, fold like 1/4 inch of it down, and then fold it right sides together. And then we're gonna stitch it together along that opening. You're gonna want about 1/4 inch seam. I'm gonna leave a little bit of it unstitched at the bottom, about 1/4 inch. And I'll show you what I do to make it a little bit easier to turn these right side out. I have no idea if this is the best way to do it, but it works for me. So this pulls elastic through, so if you were doing a waistband on a skirt, you can guide your elastic through and just pull it through the casing real easily. So I will stick it in here, pull this flap down a little bit. I will zigzag a stitch. So just really fast, drop your feed dogs again. You'll need to put your stitch length up really high. Go back and forth just a couple times. Then you can push that through and it pulls it right side out. Then from there, you're going to want to do a quick little press. Next step, after we've pressed our straps, I like to do a stitch just along the edge. It gives it a nice finished look. You can use that with any foot on your sewing machine, but I have an edge foot, and it's easier to use because you can just push up your fabric up against the guide and stitch along there. You'll move your needle over to the left, one position. You'll get to that end where you folded it over, and you're just gonna stitch over that, and that will close that opening. Now that you have your finished straps, we're going to attach them to your crown. Now you're going to want your raw edge facing outward, and you want your finished edge pointing inward to your crown. And I kind of line it up a little bit under, let's see, like a 1/4 of an inch in on your lace. And I'll leave a little bit hanging out in there. You're going to change your foot back to just your standard foot on your sewing machine. And I'm going to put it on your zigzag. I want to zigzag once, and then I go back and forth a couple times. It gives it just some added strength because you're going to be, they'll be tugging on it, putting it on, pulling it off. And you'll take your other one. So you've got your raw side here again. You're going to want that pointing outward. And then you will zigzag stitch back and forth a few times, just like you did on the other strap. Now that we have our straps sewn on and I've trimmed up all the loose strings, I will fold the straps in and pin them in place. That'll help it when we're piecing it together, that the straps won't shift around and you won't accidentally sew over them. So you're going to take your second piece of main fabric and put it on top of the front of your crown. So you're going to want the right sides of the fabric facing together. And you're going to line that up nicely and pin it so it stays in place. All our pins are in, and we're going to now sew everything together with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Make sure your sewing machine is back on your straight stitch. So I'm going to start at the bottom. Now you're going to want to start like right about there and start stitching this way, because we're going to leave a gap open to pull the crown out. And when you start, you're going to want to make sure you back stitch. So you're going to do a couple stitches and then press your back stitch on your sewing machine and go back a few times, and that's going to secure it so when you're flipping it out, it doesn't like tear open. When you get to about 3 inches from where you started, you're going to want to press your back stitch button real fast and just stitch back a couple of stitches. Now that you have your crown sewn together, you're going to want to trim your points. So right where your crown's pointed at, you're going to trim it down. You're going to want to get close to your stitches, but don't cut your stitches or it'll just come undone. So we'll cut it, cut that one, and then because it goes into a point, there's not a whole lot of room when you turn it around for all of this fabric to fold nicely in there. So I just trim it down just a little bit up at the top. So we'll cut this part off again, and we'll trim, and then this one. So basically anywhere there's a point, just trim it. And then also down here, you're gonna wanna cut it down, make a slit. Don't cut through the stitches again, but just trim that, and it'll make it look much nicer when you turn it right side out. Then you're gonna wanna take your pin out where you pinned your straps, and we're gonna turn it right side out. So pull your straps out and just start kind of pushing it out. Takes a little bit of working at it, but I also have this tool. It's actually called the purple thing, and you can use it just to poke out some of the corners and stuff. Kind of helps turn those projects right side out. Now we're gonna do an edge stitch again, just around the entire crown, and that's gonna help close up your opening here. So if you have an edge foot, you'd switch to that now. If you don't worry about it. You can use any old foot and just line up your project just towards the edge and move your needle over a little bit to where you like it, and then just follow that around. Again, move your needle over to the left one if you're using your edge foot. And then I like to start just right at the beginning where the opening is, just so that I make sure I stitch that opening up right away. I'm gonna go around the entire crown. And then just back stitch it a couple times when you get to the end. All we have to do now is put on our Velcro. Now that we've finished the edge stitching on our crown, it's time to put the Velcro on. So turn your crown and just face the front down. Take a piece of your Velcro, and if you're using the Heat and Bond Velcro, you will pull off, there's a film that you need to pull off. Pull that off, and then place it just at the edge, and then you're gonna take your other strap and just fold it over, and then peel that one, and then put it just at the edge. Then our last step, we'll take our iron on its hottest setting, and you need to press it. Now, it freaked me out a little bit when I first read the instructions. You put your hot iron on top of it for 90 seconds. So I set the timer on my phone, and I just place that iron down on there, and I wait for 90 seconds, and then I pick up the iron, let it cool, and it's nice and set. Now you have your Velcro on, and you've finished your cute and easy princess crown, perfect for Valentine's Day for your little girl. Thank you so much to Clothworks for this beautiful fabric. Hug Me can be found on clothworks.com. Thank you so much for watching.